relationships you form with other people, are they healthy? That's the question. Our social connections with other people are not only vital to our mental health and emotional well-being, but also our survival. However, sometimes relationships and friendships may end up becoming toxic and unhealthy, but what's worse is it can be hard to recognize the signs that all has gone bad. I'll talk about the signs. 7 relationship behaviors you should never tolerate. Number 1, physical, verbal, or emotional abuse. You should never tolerate physical abuse. That means somebody actually putting their hands on you and abusing you. You should never tolerate emotional abuse. Somebody abusing your emotions or verbal abuse. Controlling behaviors, including physical, emotional, and verbal abuse, is a big red flag because all of these behaviors, these 3 at least, are controlling behaviors. Physical abuse is to control you. If I jump on you and I overpower you and show you that I'm stronger than you, then you're gonna listen to me next time, right? That's what parents do to their children. It's called adultism. Adultism is, you don't matter, I'm an adult, you a child. I don't have to explain myself. You are a child, just listen. That's adultism. Controlling behaviors, like I said, are physical, emotional, and verbal abuse, and that's a red flag. Perhaps you're just trying to explain how you feel to that toxic person, and they respond by insulting you or your loved ones, or physically harming you by pushing or hitting you, or making fun of you in front of others, or gaslighting you. And we say gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation in which the abuser attempts to sow self-doubt and confusion in the victim's mind. There are some things that are unacceptable for a relationship, and physical, emotional, and verbal abuse are some of those things. 7 relationship behaviors you should never tolerate. Number 2, they want to change you. Yeah, you better avoid somebody who's trying to change you. Because if they met you, what you see is what you get. Right. Have they asked you to dress differently or to completely change the way you look, act, or feel? It's inappropriate if someone makes you give up your interests, certain personality traits, or other crucial areas of life for them. If they make you feel like you have to give up on things that make you you, then there's a chance that they like you for what and who you could be and not who you are. Ultimately, someone who truly loves you will encourage you to pursue your interests and relationships, and they will push you to do so because they want to see you doing good and being happy. 7 relationship behaviors you should never tolerate. Number 3, overly critical people. And that's how some people control people. Come on, man, you got dudes who meet a beautiful woman all of the time. You ever seen a beautiful woman and then she ends up hooking up with somebody, and then you see her like a year later, and she's a shell of what she used to be? Man, I done seen women hook up with the wrong kind of person, and within a year, bro, she don't look nothing like she was looking. She might have had a glow. She might have a beautiful personality, just the way she moved, the way she carried herself. You see her later on, like a year later, she looked like a concentration camp victim. I'm telling you, bro. So that's the thing. Now, if you're going to be with somebody, you should raise them up and not bring them down. Do you feel judged by them all the time? If so, it's a clear indicator that they aren't treating you with respect and care that you deserve. A healthy relationship or friendship can help you become a better version of yourself. So if a partner, family member, or friend continuously tells you what's wrong with you, that's a big red flag. They may criticize aspects of your personality or blame you for your appearance, which is immature and deceitful tactic to gain control in a relationship. 7 relationship behaviors you should never tolerate. Number 4, crossing boundaries. Don't let people cross your boundaries, man. They're there for a reason. Do they joke about things that you don't appreciate? Do they joke about things that you don't appreciate? Or maybe they talk about things that you don't want to talk about? That's crossing a boundary. If I tell you I don't want to talk about it, don't bring it up later on. Hey, man, you want to change your mind? You want to talk about that now? No. If I say I don't want to talk about it, that's a boundary. Do they cross physical boundaries without your consent or try to force you to let go of your boundaries or share things about your private life with others despite your protests? You done told them over and over again, don't talk about my personal business. I'm a private person. I don't like talking about my business. I like dealing with my issues. I like being private. You know, I don't like broadcasting and putting my business on blast. But then you keep walking in the house and they on the phone and you overhear them talking about you, the conversation. That's you crossing a boundary. If a person tells you, listen, if you love a person and they tell you, listen, out of respect, I don't like to talk about my business. I don't like to discuss my business. So if I tell you something, just keep it between us. And you going to rat and tell?
Yeah.
That's disrespectful and that's crossing a boundary. And that's reason to quit associating with a family member, friend, or anybody.
Break the trust.
Yeah. Yeah, because you don't respect me. And your need to gossip supersedes my well-being. So you had to tell this person on the phone because you have a deep-seated need to talk about stuff. So you're on the phone with this person, and even though I told you I don't like discussing my business, it's more important to you to tell this person my business than it is to keep my business private. That's a problem.
They don't appreciate you.
Yeah, no question.
That's what it is.
No question. They don't appreciate you. Because if a person tells you, listen, out of respect, do not talk about my business, you're supposed to honor that. If you care about the person, if you don't honor that, then you risk jeopardizing the relationship or the friendship. There are people, man, who have not spoken to their mama. There are people who have not spoken to their kids. There are people who have not spoken to their daddy. There are people who have not spoken to their brother or their sister or their auntie or their grandma or their grandfather because they won't shut their mouth about their business. So what happens is you ain't gonna have no business to tell. You gotta make it up. Every time they think about sharing something with you, something good happening, they like, nah, they gonna go and run their mouth. Nope. Every time they want to go visit you and tell you how good they doing, they think about you, they say, nope, I can't go there. Crossing boundaries. You got to respect people's boundaries, man. If a person tells you that they are not the type of person, because there's some people who are not like that. I know some people, man. Some people, everything happening in their life, they got to tell people what it is. They meet somebody. Look who I just met. They went on their first date. We on our first date. They want to tell you everything. They want to create a storybook. And there's some people who dig that. But then there are some people, they hate that. That's a turn off. If they dating somebody, you won't know about it. If they happy in a relationship, you might see them somewhere. But they're not going to advertise it and they're not going to broadcast it because they have boundaries when it comes to their life, and their business isn't everybody's business. These are a few indications that the person doesn't care to prioritize your emotional well-being over themselves or others. 7 relationship behaviors you should never tolerate. Number 5, gaslighting. And again, we said gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation in which the abuser attempts to sow self-doubt and confusion in the victim's mind. Gaslighting, manipulation basically gaslighting is manipulation. And manipulation in any form of a relationship is bad. Manipulation in any form is bad. Manipulate your kid. All right, you clean up that room, and then I'm gonna give you a snack. That's manipulation. Because you don't deserve no snack just because you clean up your room. You're doing the right thing. You cleaning up. You're not doing me a favor. You're doing yourself a favor. And I'm teaching you responsibilities. Put your toys away. I'm going to show you how to fold up these shirts and these pants while you're 10 years old. So you can start folding up your clothes when I wash them and put them in your drawers. You don't have to manipulate people into doing what they're supposed to do anyway. Because then he'll probably grow up and be a daddy paying child support. I pay my child support, but you don't get credit for what you're supposed to do anyway. You don't get credit for what you're supposed to do anyway. Manipulation in any form, including gaslighting, is on the list of things that should never be tolerated in a relationship. 9, you did anything wrong. When you know you did something to hurt somebody and you talking louder than them because come on, man, sometimes people win arguments because they are the loudest. There you go. Some people can argue longer than some other people. And even though you might be right, you might be like, man, you know what, you can have it. I'm done. Okay, you win. That doesn't mean they won. denying you did anything wrong, and distorting reality to the point where the victim begins to doubt their own thoughts and feelings. Because once it blows up, my fingerprints aren't on it. They friends with you and the people who don't like you, so they can maneuver between you and the person who don't like you, and they can get information from you and go share it with them and piss them off. And they get some information from them after they respond by what you said and take it right to them. This is what they said, and the whole time it's that person. Because if the two people were to actually link up, they'll realize they really don't even have a problem. 7 relationship behaviors you should never tolerate. Number 6, lack of communication. Because if you know how to communicate, you can fix a whole lot of things in your relationship. See, but if you don't know how to communicate, you rather walk around mad because you think something is going on than to actually have a conversation and work it out. Because if you're an adult male, she's an adult female, y'all should be able to talk and work anything out. Am I right?
Yes.
You should be able to work anything out if you have communication. If you know you ain't trying to hurt her, and you picked a good woman, and you know she ain't trying to hurt you, you need to communicate. Lack of communication. Voicing your concerns is an important and vital aspect of maintaining a healthy relationship. Both active listening is, because sometimes people be talking and we be sitting around like, I'm not talking about that. That's not active listening. That's active non-listening. Active listening is looking someone in the eyes while they're talking. Active listening is putting your phone down, even if you were on it when they approached you. Oh, okay, hold on. No distractions. No while they talking. Active listening, which means I don't say anything. I'm just listening. Voicing your concerns is an important and vital aspect of maintaining a healthy relationship. Both active listening and speaking are important, as you may find that a lack of communication can quickly derail a relationship. If you notice that they become hesitant to tell you what bothers them or what they need or want from you, then it may be a sign that your relationship has become an unhealthy one. Failing to communicate may result in things being bottled up, which never ends well. 7 relationship behaviors you should never tolerate. Number 7, manipulation and control. Do they tell you what you should wear or whom you can and can't talk to? Do you feel like your life entirely revolves around them? Perhaps everything you do now is to please them because you don't ever want to risk upsetting them. That's not a good situation to be in when you're in a loving relationship. That sounds like fear to me. How can you ever get comfortable in a relationship if you're afraid in it? I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to do. I can't deal with that kind of pressure. I'm just gonna be me. I've noticed, man, that when you just be yourself, authentically yourself, then that's the best way to be. Because when you try to be something that you're not, you got to maintain that. You can't maintain that forever. Be yourself, man, and then the people who want to be around you, who get you, they'll gravitate towards you. But the worst thing you want to do is be connected to somebody who you are not compatible with and waste a year or 2 or 3 or 4 pretending. There's some people, man, want to pretend they got a good relationship than have a real good relationship. Do you feel like your life entirely revolves around them? Perhaps everything you do now is to please them because you don't ever want to risk upsetting them. This need to have all the power and control in a relationship is a big red flag and something you should never, ever tolerate.